In a historic move, one Arkansas county returned to the use of hand-marked, hand-counted paper ballots during the 2024 general election. It's part of a growing effort for abandoning electronic voting machines over concerns of accuracy or security. Channel 7's Andrew Mobley spoke with Searcy County's election commissioners to learn why the change was made. Andrew?
JP contacted us and said, listen, we're having a lot of people talk to us about paper ballots.
All over Arkansas and across the country, voters are growing increasingly wary of voting machines. The more innocuous concerns are that ballot marking devices cannot capture the intent of the voter, as well as pen and paper, and may be otherwise faulty. The more serious fears are that the devices enable election fraud.
They have their own software that we are not allowed to examine or inspect. And that's where we start to doubt the culpability of a machine that I cannot examine.
In a rare show of unity, Republican and Democrats in Searcy County worked together to reinstitute paper ballots.
Both Democrats and Republicans, we want everyone to be able to be sure that their vote was counted in a fair way.
In August, Searcy County's Quorum Court passed a resolution requiring elections to be carried out with hand-marked, hand-counted paper ballots after hearing the findings of a committee of election commissioners appointed to look into the feasibility of the transition.
What they were primarily interested in was the cost, because they had been told that it would cost a huge amount of money. I think the quote is they would bankrupt their county.
One of the primary challenges in going to paper ballots is the fact that the state will not cover the extra expensive cost of printing them, not to mention the need for more election workers who would have to work longer hours.
You're going to spend more on payroll because you got to pay counters, and you're going to spend more on printing because you got to print the ballots. But we can save in other places.
The express vote ballot marking devices Searcy County uses, like the rest of Arkansas, cost roughly $8,000 each, must be replaced periodically, and the county must pay for them to be reprogrammed every election. Now, the county has reduced the number of express votes it uses from 24 to 9, those 9 kept for the sake of disabled voters. In this regard, the county has saved over $100,000 already. But will the cost of shifting to paper ballots cancel out those savings? Gross says that compared with the 2022 primary election, the county's 2024 primary with paper ballots was actually 18% cheaper. However, it remains to be seen how expensive the general election was.
I suspect that we will maybe not have saved money this time, but if it's comparable, that's what our court asked us to do.
Many lawmakers and state officials aren't convinced that returning to hand-marked, hand-counted paper ballots is the right move. Chris Madison, director of the State Board of Election Commissioners, says paper ballots are more vulnerable to human error or tampering if hand-counted rather than counted by machine.
Hand-marked, hand-count, you're relying on somebody else down the road to look at your ballot, interpret your marks, and that just creates more opportunities.
Madison expressed doubts about the affordability of transitioning to paper ballots in the long run as well.
There are some people in the state that are desperate to prove that paper ballots are not financially feasible.
The relationship between Searcy County and the State Board of Election Commissioners has been tense at times, with the board reprimanding the county earlier this year during its first paper ballot-only primary for counting errors that have since been resolved. Searcy County election commissioners say they do not feel the reprimand was fair because they had previously asked for help and did not receive the guidance they needed.
We would like for them to have told us that before they came and reprimanded us.
To me, that's not getting the cooperation that I think we need from the state.
Strained relations aside, Madison says Searcy County ran a smooth, clean general election. Locals certainly seem to agree.
People were very happy. The energy at the polling site was high as far as being able to do it, get in there, and vote quickly and accurately.
Whatever your perspective on the merits or pitfalls of hand-marked, hand-counted paper ballots, at the end of the day, it's the will of the people here in Searcy County.
Well, Searcy County is holding on to all its years, just in case the Quorum Court decides it would be better to resume using them. For more on this story, you can see the article on KATV.com.